founder and CEO of Mogul, and I'm excited to share with you our story today, as well as why it's important to the future of women and the lessons I learned along the way that you can apply into the workplace today. So, to share with you my personal story as to why I founded Mogul, it's one that's actually inspired by my family, because my family had been in media for many generations, and that was the environment I grew up in. My great-uncle, for example, had run the equivalent of The Economist in Vietnam. My father advised the French government in media. But it was actually my grandmother who was my true inspiration, because my grandmother had run newspapers across Asia to fight against communist propaganda and to work to democratize media within Asia. So growing up, I actually grew up in Paris, France. And when I moved to America at age 10, I didn't know a word of English, but it was again through media that I learned how to speak English at age 10. And I started to understand really how powerful media could be for learning. And then when I was 14, I still remember the day that my grandmother passed away. And it's still to this day the most vivid memory that I have. I was standing in my home in Texas at that time and remembering then that she passed away. And the day that she passed away, I made a promise to her that I was going to do everything I could to carry forward our family legacy, providing information access to the world like she had. And so everything I've done since the age of 14 has been towards that mission and goal, providing information access to the world and democratizing media around the world like she had. So by that time, I remember by age 16, I wrote to Yale University and I said in my college essays, one day I would do this. I would start this company for women to empower them and enable them, providing information access. Same thing, age 21, became one of the youngest students but most determined at Harvard Business School, and said yet again I was going to follow my grandmother's footsteps. Then thereafter worked across the media industry from Universal Pictures and BBC, advising their COO and her team. Now subsequently she's one of our advisors today at Mogul, and then was at HBO to help launch HBO Go, then was at CBS where I helped to oversee TV and radio stations, websites, and mobile properties. And when I was at CBS, I started working in other roles as well because I was trying to learn every facet of the industry again, to just learn every single detail inside and out. And so while I was at CBS, eventually becoming one of our president's right hands, I then subsequently took on another role simultaneously, working with the vice mayor of Beijing to launch new ventures in the US area that would bridge the marketplace between US and China, ultimately bridging the cultural gaps between the two countries within media entertainment. And then I took on a third job simultaneously, producing feature films and documentaries with Gerard Butler, Patricia Arquette, all around different social issues that needed more global awareness. So for example, back in 2010, co-produced the first North American feature film to ever feature a man with Down syndrome in the lead role. And because it was subsequently such an amazing film, premiered at Toronto and International Film Festival and won the Gotham Audience Award that year, it really helped to establish a new standard in the film industry and for new talent, new voices. And so I mention all of these three roles because you see elements of those three roles in Mogul today. Innovating at the forefront of content, bridging cultural gaps, and highlighting different social issues that need more global awareness. And then what happened was that one day, as I woke up, I saw that my phone had exploded with hundreds of emails. It was all these emails from young girls around the world who had happened to find my email address online, because that day, by chance, I'd been listed on Forbes 30 Under 30. And so they emailed me the same questions over and over again. How did you get these opportunities at a young age? What resources are you accessing? What articles are you reading? What videos are you watching? And then that's when I started to answer back every single email I was receiving. And those hundreds of emails became thousands of emails every single day. And I started to realize, instead of sharing all this information and helping them one-on-one behind the scenes, because I was literally answering every single letter I was receiving, what if we could have a platform whereby millions of us women could share our insights from the ground level and our careers and our lives and our journeys, and from this exchange of information we could gain access to more knowledge from each other, become that much better and that much stronger, and become the best versions of ourselves. And it made sense as I looked at the marketplace. I saw that Reddit was an amazing information hub, and yet it was at the time 98% male millennials. And even Wikipedia was recently exposed by the Atlantic to be 91% male editors. So where were the women's voices and their insights? So at that time, I had written a book on business strategies and IT roadmaps to enable organizations to better align their IT infrastructure with their business strategies. And that book made me realize that maybe I could actually build the IT infrastructure for Mogul myself. Maybe I could teach myself how to code and build this platform that I had in my mind and make it a reality to help as many women around the world as I could. So every single day, I'd work with the president of CBS, with the vice mayor of Beijing, and with Gerard and Patricia Arquette. And then at nights, I'd just stay awake until 3 a.m. in order to teach myself Ruby on Rails and just sit down at the kitchen table every single day, 3 a.m., being disciplined about it and teaching myself Ruby on Rails until after a couple of weeks, I'd built the first iteration of Mogul. Launched Mogul after that couple of weeks, and then it ended up reaching 1 million users within our first week of launch, becoming the fastest growing content platform for women ever. And so what is Mogul exactly? Mogul is a platform for women that enables them to share information in the form of articles, videos, jobs, events, products. And from that exchange of information, it's enabling them to connect and gain access to knowledge from each other, thereby democratizing media. The very same idea I'd had since I was 14. And today we're reaching 18 million women each week. After 2 years since launch, continuing our trajectory of becoming the fastest growing content platform for women ever. We're accessed every single day by all 196 countries and 31,000 cities around the world. And it's changing their lives. We become the go-to partner for the United Nations, for example, in terms of advancing gender equality and quality education. Why? Because women are writing to us telling us that now, thanks to Mogul, it's enabling them to realize that they can be more than what their societies say. So one of our very first letters that we ever received, for example, is the top one. It's my favorite one. It is a girl from Pakistan saying she's 16 years old, and there, a girl's life is all about marriage, but Mogul helps her out by pointing out ideas that should be more than what others say. And now she's kind of feminist, and she loves, loves, loves this Mogul. But beyond this exchange of information in terms of beyond sharing articles and videos and stories, there's also the ability to share products. So young women are posting their products from Etsy, Kickstarter, eBay, and all of a sudden it's doubling their sales on those platforms because it's generating so much traffic back to those stores and fulfilling their Kickstarter campaigns, for example, by the hundreds of thousands of dollars because they're getting millions of people to see their campaigns for free. So it's creating economic opportunity in this way, and that's why you see the second letter, women telling us that we're democratizing PR, we're giving women their voice. And beyond that, there's the opportunity to post jobs. So staffing agencies, corporations are all posting jobs onto Mogul in order to tap the female talent on Mogul and enabling them, their workplace to accelerate the diversity within. And it's, for that reason, creating job opportunities as well for women around the world. And we're not alone in this journey. We have a team of 3,000 all around the world that work with Mogul today to create this change for women around the world. And some of the most powerful women are investors or backers and advisors and think tank members of Mogul today, from the chief officers of BBC to Hearst and AOL, MTV. Our think tank consists of the founders of Girls Who Code, Goldie Blocks, Malala Fund, the producers of Good Morning America. Some of the most powerful women stand with us today to help create this change in the world. And our partners, too, support us. They're calling us, for example, Forbes, saying that we're one of the top 8 sites for marketing your company online. Number 1, Google, 2, Yelp, 3, Mogul. Inc. magazine is calling us one of the top sites for finding top talent as well, female talent, millennial talent. And subsequently, all of these partners are enabling us to continue to accelerate our momentum to continue, again, changing the lives of women around the world. So we're taking that momentum now towards girls' education. So, as you know, there are 62 million girls around the world who don't have access to an education because they're literally prevented by their societies from entering schools. And Mogul is in a unique position to actually help in this mission to help these 62 million girls because of our global scale, because of our massive reach, because we reach these 18 million women around the world. We're now able to take all of our momentum and create course curriculum around the very same topics that women are already posting about on Mogul, such as entrepreneurship, career, finance, engineering, education. And all this course curriculum we developed in collaboration with experts, educators, researchers from NYU, Wharton, etc. And so now that course curriculum is available for $9 per month, in which now we're enabling young women all around the world to gain access to our courses, as well as a mentorship channel that's available to them for 24/7. Like literally any question they may have across their life and career, they now have the ability to reach a massive network of mentors through the Mogul platform and get guidance to them on an ongoing basis across every spectrum that they may have questions on. And so then, therefore, for every subscribed student that we have on this product, we're actually giving it away one-for-one to the 62 million girls around the world who don't have access to an education, to provide them with that ongoing mentorship and educational outlet. And so, why is this important to women's future today? As I mentioned, again, it's our ability to reach the 62 million girls who don't have access to an education. Our platform is helping to transform their lives. I'm really proud to say that as of having launched the Mogul Courses subscription product about 4 months ago with our one-to-one model, we've been able to provide it already to 1 million girls for free out of the 62 million. And as for the other aspects of women's future, for example, with regards to share of voice, right now we just represent 10 to 15% of op-eds and boards, but now the Mogul platform is encouraging at an early age for young women to speak up and have that courage to support each other and empower each other through the platform and in the workplace. And then in terms of job opportunity as well, women just represent 10 to 20% of top leadership positions. So through the platform, by enabling companies and encouraging them to post jobs on the Mogul platform, then we're now accelerating that rate. Otherwise, it's going to take us until 2085 for women to reach parity with men in these top leadership positions in the US. And so what can you do about it? So I wanted to take this time to remember and recall with you all my story so that you can take the lessons I learned from my journey and apply it to the workplace today. So if you remember my story about listening to all these ideas from the ground level, from young women who were sharing with me their questions, and then thereafter, as I was communicating with them, I was hearing their ideas. And at the same time, I brought the most powerful women in the world together to enable us in our mission as well. It was bottom up and top down, ideas from all around. I was listening to all these ideas and then taking that and prototyping it quite rapidly by coding it myself. I took a little prototype that was such an ugly sight at the very beginning when I first coded it, but now today it's beautiful and I iterated over time towards perfection. So that is to say, remember to just do things, to just do it. If you have an idea, take the lessons, take the feedback that you hear all around you, but prototype quickly. Don't care if it's perfect, and then iterate over time so that over time it'll eventually reach perfection. And in terms of secondly, the talent that you're working with today, you're all the business leaders within your corporations. It's time to encourage your younger talent to reach out to yourselves and other business leaders to help them accelerate their path upwards. One of the very first people that I ever pitched, actually it was the very first person that I ever pitched Mogul, was the founder of Match.com, one of the most senior people in the tech industry, and I did not know what I was doing, but he believed in me. He came on board immediately as our first investor and advisor, and it's just about encouraging now my peers and your younger talent to do the same, to reach out to the very people that they admire so much within their industries, and to have the courage to share their ideas and collaborate with them in some way so that they can learn through that collaboration and accelerate themselves upwards, and encouraging, therefore, that diversity in thought as they accelerate. And then lastly, in terms of community, remember to be kind and authentic and generous. That's our value system at Mogul. Every single one of our employees, our team members, remembers, and every single day within the office to be kind, authentic, and generous. After all, if I hadn't shared and heard all those ideas and responded to every single letter that I ever received, I wouldn't be here today. So that's the story of Mogul. Thank you.